Are you listening?
Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Report. My name is Bryant Chappelle, and on this week's episode, Vince Zampella is taking over DICE LA. Look out, your grandma might be the next biggest gamer. New images from the Final Fantasy VII Remake have leaked. And get your wallets ready because CES is next week. And Sony is reportedly about to open PlayStation 5 and Dualshock 5 pre-orders. But before we get into any of that, your top headlines. First up this week, Vince Zampella, the CEO of Respawn Entertainment, the studio who brought you 2019 highlights like Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Well, this week it was revealed that Vince Zampella will be adding studio lead of LA DICE to his resume. According to the LA Times, under Zampella, there are plans to expand and launch an original, as yet unrevealed game. The company will remain separate from Respawn, and Zampella says likely will drop the DICE name. So, what will the new project be? Well, the first rumor would be found on Vince's Twitter profile, which says currently working on Apex Legends, Titanfall, Jedi Fallen Order, and a VR project. So, could LA DICE be the focus of a new unannounced VR title? Or could EA be hoping that Zampella can use his single-player narrative magic once again to make another single-player masterpiece? Only time will tell. Final Fantasy VII The Remake currently has a launch date of March 3rd. And everyone at the Nerf Report here has one question. Are you ready? Well, the industry's worst-kept secret of an unannounced upcoming PlayStation 4 demo has been running rampant. And this week, new images of that said demo were leaked onto the internet. And the images gave us a first look at Red 13 in all of his glory, Cloud's outfit for Don Corneo's, and a tutorial of the game's fighting mechanics. While this is our official first look at the upcoming demo, neither Sony or Square Enix have commented on the demo's existence or its release date. Virtual reality, my current favorite way to play video games. You know, games like Beat Saber, Super Hot, and Arizona Sunshine have done a lot to move the industry forward. However, the team at VR Electronics is pushing the industry light years ahead. If you're not aware, VR Electronics is the company behind the Teslasuit, a full-body haptic feedback system, which provides users with sensation and sense of touch in virtual and augmented reality. Well, this week, the team at VR Electronics introduced the Teslasuit Glove, a new virtual reality tool that provides a haptic display and allows you to feel virtual textures, precise motion capture with finger and wrist position, along with force feedback, which can allow resistance, vibration, and spatial effect. The Teslasuit Glove is scheduled to hit the market the second half of 2020. When I say the word gamer, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Well, thanks to the folks over at AARP, whatever you thought of is probably going to change. According to the most recent AARP survey, over 44% of Americans 50 years or older enjoy playing video games. That number is up from 38% in 2016. AARP also reports that 49% of women 50 years or older are playing games, compared to 40% of men. So, look out world, your grandma is probably stomping 9-year-olds in Fortnite as we speak. The report also stated that older Americans are moving away from traditional gaming hardware, with 73% of seniors gaming on smartphones and tablets. Seniors have also reportedly spent $3.5 billion in the last 6 months on gaming. That number is up from 2016, when seniors reportedly only spent $523 million. Now, the favorite video game categories among senior gamers ended up being puzzle and logic games, making up about 50% of senior gamers. And 7% play action and shooter games. I need to start making some content targeting seniors. I wonder if Dick Van Dyke is available. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's top headlines. So let's jump into this week's top story with the rundown.
Now for something completely different. Yeah.
The PlayStation 5. At this point, it feels like we can't go a day without a new article speculating the PS5 launch lineup or even its price. And despite all of the clickbait out there, it's important to remember that we still haven't seen our first official look of the PlayStation 5 or its new controller. But that might all be changing very quickly. CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, has over 4,000 exhibitors and over 175,000 people in attendance. Recently, CES has become one of the top tech shows in the world. And at this point, you might be wondering, why are you talking about CES? If Sony was going to make any announcement about the PlayStation 5, it would be at E3, right? Well, this week, Sony updated their CES page, which now includes the tagline, "The future is coming." At CES 2020, Sony is unveiling a unique vision of the future, bringing creativity and technology together like never before, to unleash new sensations and emotions. Now, Sony does have their hands in plenty of other technology to hold a press conference at CES without talking about the PlayStation 5. But as big as the PlayStation 4 was for Sony's portfolio, CES would be the perfect venue to announce the future of PlayStation. And to add fuel to that fire, Cory Barlog, the creative director of PlayStation's God of War, tweeted, "Going to experience my first CES in a little over a week. Hopefully I see lots of robots." So the question must be asked, could Cory Barlog be partaking in Sony's press conference? And perhaps Sony won't reveal the PlayStation 5 in its entirety at CES. But it's extremely probable that we get like an Xbox Series X reveal, or Sony could unveil part of the PlayStation 5 like the Dualshock 5 controller. In fact, the notorious PlayStation leaker PS Erebus tweeted in late December, "DualShock 5 will be unveiled in the first quarter of 2020. PlayStation will be available to pre-order worldwide shortly afterwards." Erebus followed up that tweet with, "If you want to stack it up, man, you gotta work for it. Pre-orders for PlayStation 5 begins in March." So if Erebus's leaks are to be believed, and if you combine them with Sony's unveiling of the future at CES, it's extremely probable that we see the PlayStation 5 in some form at CES. Like, even if it's not a blatant, "Here is the PlayStation 5. But you have to admit, when you have companies like AMD, who are responsible for a lot of the hardware inside of the PlayStation 5, also holding a press conference at CES, it's extremely likely that we will see the PlayStation 5 in some form at CES. And if the rumors are to be believed, pre-orders will be available starting in March. And finally for this week, we come to that noise, of course, signifies that we are running out of time and coming close to the end of the show. So, in order to cover all the week's remaining news, we must initiate a segment that I like to call Every single week, we have so much news to talk about and so little time to do it. So we take all the week's remaining news, put 60 seconds on the clock, and try to cover it as fast as humanly possible without running out of breath, passing out, or dying! So with that in mind, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Thunder noise! And go! Grand Theft Auto 5 is officially now on Game Pass. WWE 2K20 had a glitch, surprise, surprise, that made the game shut down completely when it turned 2020. The Uncharted film has lost its director. Resident Evil 3, the remake, has an install size of 43 gigabytes. We got a brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons trailer from Nintendo this week. Modern Warfare is bringing back the popular Ghost Mode grind. Alexa can now play Ticket to Ride. Really cool. You can just say, Alexa, let's play Ticket to Ride. And if that worked correctly, your Alexa is probably going off right now. You're welcome. Netflix Witcher TV show is responsible for an increase of downloads in The Witcher 3. The video game industry generated over $120 billion in 2019. And I think I made like $80 worth of that. And also Fortnite, just so you're not aware, it's the world's most popular game. 1.8 billion of that number. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Nerfed in 60 Seconds, and that is it for this week's episode of the show. If you like what you saw, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and please share it with your friends. As always, my name is Brian Chappelle, a sick Brian Chappelle. You are you, and this has been the Nerf Report. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, hit that subscribe button, and please share it with your friends. I am completely under the weather this week. I think I had the flu all day yesterday, and I woke up this morning and I was like, well, I definitely got to do the show. So if you enjoyed it, thank you for bearing with all of this.